I'll never forget the night my dad looked me in the eyes and said, "You're not my son, you're my paycheck." I grew up in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment with my mom, dad, and little sister. Money was always tight. We never went on vacations, never ate out. I wore the same shoes until they literally had holes in them. I didn't complain because I knew they were doing their best. When I turned 18, I got a part-time job after school. Minimum wage, late shifts, weekends. Most of my paycheck went straight into the family budget. Rent, groceries, electricity bills. If my mom ever asked, I'd hand over cash without hesitation. I thought, we're all in this together. But last month, things changed. My mom asked me for $300 just until the bills clear. I gave it to her, no questions asked. A week later, I noticed my little sister showing off brand new sneakers, a designer backpack, and even AirPods. She doesn't work. She never saves. When I asked where it all came from, she laughed and said, "Mom and Dad said I deserve to have nice things." Finally, I froze. That money wasn't for bills. It was mine. Money I had been secretly saving for college applications. That night, I confronted my parents. My dad didn't even look guilty. He just said, "She's the youngest. She still has a chance to fit in, to be popular. You've already had your turn." Your turn? When was my turn? I wore thrift store clothes all through high school. I skipped every school trip because we couldn't afford them. I worked shifts until 2 a.m. so we could keep the lights on. And now they're telling me I don't matter because I'm the oldest? The worst part? My sister posted online, "So lucky to have the best parents who always spoil me." Hundreds of likes, comments about how jealous people were, and I just sat there in my dark room eating instant noodles, realizing that the only reason she gets to live like that is because I gave up my own future. That night, I stopped feeling like part of a family. I felt like a credit card with legs. Something in me snapped. I kept working, but I stopped handing over money. Every paycheck went straight into a hidden savings account under my name. My parents noticed the bills getting tighter, but they didn't ask me directly. They just started guilt-tripping me. "We raised you, we sacrificed everything. Now you're abandoning us?" I smiled and nodded, but inside, I felt nothing. Then I started small. My sister would beg me to drive her to the mall. I'd forget or tell her I was busy. She'd whine and my parents would scold me, but I stayed calm. Next, I pulled my transcripts, applied for scholarships, and found out I qualified for grants without needing their approval or signatures. I didn't tell them. The breaking point came when my mom demanded $500 for rent. I pretended to agree. That night, I quietly packed a bag, withdrew everything from my hidden account, and left before sunrise. I didn't leave a note. 3 days later, I got a message from my sister. "Where are you? Mom's freaking out. Dad said we might lose the apartment. You can't just leave us like this." For the first time in years, I laughed, because they finally realized the truth. I wasn't their safety net anymore. And maybe it's petty, but sometimes when I see my sister's Instagram posts with captions like, "No money for Starbucks today, life's unfair," I don't feel guilty. I feel free. Because for the first time in my life, I'm spending money on myself.